So on agility, I think the CFO has an enormous role to play here. I think what we can do is first of all demonstrate it in our own behaviour. Um, you know, leadership is the best way of sort of reinforcing such a personal example. And what I find is that if a decision comes to me and it's perhaps a sort of slightly different U-turn or angle direction from where we were previously, and people are looking for a quick decision because it's important to have a quick decision. I think what works for me is I think to myself, well, does this seem 90% right? And again, it's not about necessarily always chasing perfection, but does it seem? Yeah, it does seem about right. And to be agile in that respect, to support your colleagues around you. Another thing with being agile, you don't have to win every battle with every argument, if you know what I mean. I think there are times when you have to be agile with your colleagues as a CFO. A CFO can be a handbrake on a business. I think that's wrong. I think there are times when you have to acknowledge that your colleagues around you do want to take risks or pursue something. If it's not going to completely fail the business, or if it's perhaps immaterial to the general business, sometimes you've got to let things go and be agile in that respect and not always die in a ditch on every single matter, which CFOs, we can be a bit guilty of that. So agile in that respect too. And I think just general agility, the world and businesses continues to change so fast. It's so foolish to be dogmatic on a certain point. And at times, even if you think it might fail, you think, well, I'm prepared to let this one go because we can manage it within the overall context of the whole business. And at least if we do this one, people will learn from this experience. And maybe I'm wrong. And maybe it's a great roaring success, in which case, great. So agility comes in lots of forms, lots of guises. It could be recruiting great talent, for example. I mean, sometimes you get incredibly bright people, but they have a way of working that might not necessarily, be to everyone's style. But on the other hand, if they're supremely talented and they're going to bring a lot to an organisation, you've got to go with it. So, in its own way, I think agility has always been with us, but as an aspect of how to do good business. But I think probably even more so now, the way pace of technology change. The world for a long time, when it came to competition, you'd look to whether it be sort of North America or Europe or within the UK. The whole Asian continent has exploded in the last 20 years, and the talent there and the new businesses that are coming out of those markets, South America to follow, Africa will come. You have to be agile to respond to those threats from overseas, from those markets, and not just the traditional North America and Europe. So agility is everywhere. We try and be agile. Often we're guilty of the traditional CFO faults of falling into, no, it can't work because the IRR is not the right number. Those are just mistakes. So yeah, I try and be as agile as I can, but don't get me wrong, I'm sure I can be rigid as much as anybody.